The world is on the brink of a tipping point as World War III looms. As tensions continue to rise, experts are predicting a devastating economic fallout that could hurt countless people around the globe. What would be the actual cost of a third world war? In this video, we'll take a look at the possible impacts of World War III on the global economy. World War III is an impending reality that many are hoping will never happen. But with escalating tensions between countries and growing threats from world leaders, it's becoming increasingly clear that it may not be avoidable. The effects of such an event would be catastrophic, not only in terms of human lives, but also in terms of economic stability around the world. Many economists and financial experts have predicted dire consequences for global economies should such a conflict come to pass. Some have estimated that global investments, trade, and economic growth could suffer losses more significant than 2 or 3 times what was seen during World War II, leaving long-term damage in its wake. The effect of Russia's invasion already. Speculation is rife that the Russian invasion of Ukraine and America's attempts to get involved in it could lead to World War III and a devastating impact on the world economy. Russia has been accused of illegally annexing Crimea, a peninsula that lies on the northern coast of the Black Sea, as well as providing arms and fighters to separatist rebels in eastern Ukraine. The United States has provided non-lethal military aid, mainly food and other supplies, to Ukraine in response to Russian aggression, something that Moscow has seen as a direct challenge to its own authority in the region. The economic impact of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine continues to grow, with international banks such as Sberbank and Alfa Bank withdrawing their investments from the country due to fears of instability. Numerous companies have had their licenses revoked or suspended by both national governments, including those based in Europe who had previously invested in Ukrainian business interests. This has resulted in a significant drop in foreign investment into Ukraine, now at its lowest level since 2008, which had already been hit by falling energy prices. Moreover, Western sanctions imposed on Russia for its part in escalating tensions with Ukraine have also taken an economic toll. Russia's economy shrank by 3% last year alone, while forecasts suggest further contraction this year too. The latest round of sanctions imposed by the US target some of Vladimir Putin's closest associates, which could further hurt investor confidence and constrain any potential recovery. In addition, there is also speculation that any further escalation between Russia and NATO countries could increase gas prices drastically if Russia cut off supplies. This would not only affect European countries that rely heavily on Russian energy, but would also put pressure on global markets due to high dependence on oil exports from OPEC states such as Saudi Arabia and Iraq. Overall, it is clear that should a full-scale war break out between Russia and NATO countries, then it would have major implications for global markets due to disruption of trade routes, loss of investments from both sides, as well as higher prices for key commodities such as gas and oil. It is essential, therefore, that diplomatic solutions are reached before tensions can lead us down an even more precarious path toward World War III. American President's Speech. In an address to the nation, the American president declared that a full-scale war between Russia and NATO countries would have major implications for global markets due to disruption of trade routes, loss of investments from both sides, as well as higher prices for key commodities such as gas and oil. The president emphasized that it is essential, therefore, that diplomatic solutions are reached before tensions can lead us down an even more precarious path toward World War III.
Provides political or economic support to Russia's fraudulent territorial claims.
He further stated that if we do not take swift action now to prevent this conflict, then the economic impact could be catastrophic in terms of long-term damage across many industries and economies around the world. The president concluded his speech by urging all nations involved in this dispute to come together with a sense of urgency and work out a peaceful resolution so that future generations may live in peace and prosperity. But Russia might have a different thing to say. The threat of a world war is still very imminent as the situation does not seem to calm down. And if it does happen, here is how it will affect the world economy. Effects of World War III. The outbreak of World War III would have a devastating impact on the world economy. Countries around the world would be forced to divert resources to militarization in order to defend their nations and people, which would cause an oil crisis as production was devoted to military use. In response, investors would flee from any risky investments, leading to a crash in the stock market. Global trade would come to a standstill as countries put up barriers to protect their economies from further damage. The outbreak of World War III would have catastrophic consequences for the world economy, not least in terms of infrastructure destruction. The physical damage caused by bombing and military activity would be immense, with roads, bridges, railways, and other forms of transportation destroyed or severely damaged. This could lead to a disruption in the global supply chain as goods are unable to reach their destinations on time due to a lack of transportation. Furthermore, telecommunications networks will also suffer from being targeted during wartime operations, leading to further disruptions in the communication between different regions. The war will also bring about a humanitarian crisis, as refugees are forced to flee conflict zones. The cost of living will inevitably increase as governments struggle to fund military operations. This situation could lead to economic instability and social unrest if not properly managed. In the long term, the war could even lead to the collapse of the world economy if it is not contained soon enough. Throughout history, wars have caused immense destruction in terms of human lives lost and economic damage incurred. World War III would be no exception. It is essential that diplomatic solutions are reached in order for global markets and economies not only to survive this conflict, but also thrive afterward due to increased stability and investment opportunities. Moreover, regional peace initiatives should be encouraged in order for lasting peace between countries involved in this dispute. The ripple effects of such a large-scale conflict could have long-term repercussions felt across many industries and markets across multiple continents. Businesses and individuals alike would feel the brunt of any potential war's financial implications, with possible damage ranging from shutdowns of small businesses due to cash flow issues caused by trading restrictions imposed by governments around the world, to large corporations feeling the impact from increased volatility in markets caused by geopolitical uncertainty, all leading ultimately towards a more fragile global economy if left unchecked over time. In conclusion, the outbreak of World War III would have catastrophic consequences on the world economy. Countries around the world would be forced to divert resources to militarization, and infrastructure destruction could lead to a disruption in the global supply chain. Moreover, telecommunications networks will also suffer from being targeted during wartime operations, leading to further disruptions in communication between different regions. The cost of living will inevitably increase as governments struggle to fund military operations, which can result in economic instability and social unrest if not managed properly. It is essential that diplomatic solutions are reached quickly in order for global markets and economies not only survive this conflict, but also thrive afterward due to increased stability and investment opportunities. The biggest cost of World War III, however, will be that of human lives beyond any measure of mathematics and economics. So let us all hope that common sense prevails over political ambitions so that our world remains safe and prosperous. Like and subscribe and comment down below what you think about the invasion of Ukraine. Thank you for watching.